Okay. Okay, all right, this is week 3. Okay, welcome to our week 3 introduction to illustration classes. All right, my name is Mr. Faisal once again. All right, I've been taking these subjects for almost 9 years directly in TAUC. All right. Okay, this is basically my first subjects that we've been responsible to me, all right, to develop our students kind of skills, okay, to improve their illustration skills, design skill, and drawing skill at the same time directly in the first foundations semesters. All right, so that means okay, one of the reason why actually I've been given this subject, okay, as a part of the core subjects for me to handle, because my background is illustration. My majoring is illustrations, okay, when I was graduate in 1999. So I actually began my study formally in 1995 directly. So we have 4 years kind of courses over them as a bachelor degrees, and I'm still pursuing myself directly on the further study at the same time directly, even though my age right now is around 45 directly. So I live actually right at Kajang. Okay, for those who actually forget about it, okay, anyone who actually live at Kajang directly, maybe later on we're going to hang out, okay. I always hang it out actually my place. Other than Mama, basically, okay, I always hanging out at McDonald's there. All right. Normally, in a normal kind of not pandemic kind of situation that we have, my daily routine, basically, right, okay, even though there's a pandemic there, okay, but we can actually hang out outside there, okay, without having any much kind of restrictions. I'm going to my morning routine. I woke up, pray, and also do some little bit kind of exercise, and then I'm going to hanging over before the classes, if online classes over here. What we call that, I'm going to basically hang out, okay, having my breakfast either any kind of stalls, restaurant, or mama, okay. But today I just pick it up there, okay, nearby my houses over there, buy nasi lemak, and also made up my own drinks there. That's all. I have 5 kids, right? 2 of them teenagers, another 3 boys basically is still basically around 7 years old, 5 and 2 plus there, right? Those are the things there. All right, so now that's a little bit thing about me, okay. I'm actually one of the graduates from ITM Shah-Alam, okay, in art and designs. My core basically what we call that majorings were basically in illustrations. All right, I've been trained by professionals, and now I become one of them, and I'm training you guys. Okay, so that's a little bit of me. And the other thing is right now, okay, I always believe one thing. If you want to get to know people who actually taught you or been responsible to teach you there, right, okay, you have to know where they came from, what basically they do visually there. You guys can actually look at me, okay, look at me, okay, look up to me there, okay, you guys can see the screen there, right? Okay, good. Each one of you guys, okay. In my social media, okay, one of them basically in my Behance there. This is basically one of my online portfolios, but I didn't upload or update any kind of recent works, okay. But some of the progression work, some of the progress, even though there's some teachings, kind of demonstrations, I did basically upload, okay, because I'm using social medias actively, because this is a part of it that we can create our own kind of visual digital diaries there, okay? Okay, because back in the day, we always keep our sketchbooks, our record, our report, or whatever that we have actually, okay, in analog kind of methods there. So nowadays, digital is one of the important things that you guys have to be implement at the same time later on, okay? I would suggest for you guys, okay, if you have your own social medias right now, start to show your progressions of your works on social media. That if you can create your own blogs, because some of the university that actually have been taught there, okay, every students have their own blogs, but I didn't actually do some practice right here. All right, in Thai you see there, right? IG there, right? Okay, IG one of it, right? Okay, thank you there, right? But Behance is more specific to our to my online portfolios kind of works, right? I came from multiple various type of discipline of illustrations. I've been trained myself formally and also professionally. I trained myself to work with various type of discipline and multiple kind of discipline there. So I did not basically are going to be what we call that, restrict myself, like I stuck myself into one particular kind of discipline or styles, okay? Because my kind of natures of works, even though I do illustration, design, characters, pre-productions kind of works mostly directly, and art directing and also creative directing at the same time directly, I actually write down also design works like landing page, graphic design, logo design there, okay? Because when we actually have been taught in graphic design kind of majoring there, okay, or department there, okay, or specific of those courses there, okay, we actually have to learn just like you guys multimedia, okay? But at my times, multimedia is only a part of those elective, not one single kind of what we call that core courses there, right? Okay, that they made back in the day, I think around 25 years back there, right? So that mean, okay, multimedia is only, I think I want to show you guys today some of one of my multimedia's kind of works there, okay? Where is it? Oh yes, yeah, still have you. I'm going to show you guys, okay? This is basically my kind of IG basically, okay? But I mixed up the okay, this IG. I have two different kind of account in my IG at the moment, okay? But this is one of things that I actually been shared most of the works, some live a little bit, some activities, some of the works that I've done, but not entirely basically there, okay? So I just share some of the things that can be benefit to myself and also to the community and also to my people around me at the same time there, okay? So I've been experimenting also with this kind of simple kind of apps in IG that have been served us, okay, recently, because I believe because I'm working with the multiple discipline, if I don't actually practice myself at the same time, okay, even though TikTok, okay, but I think TikTok for me, it make basically my phones a bit kind of heavy directly in terms of to navigate those kind of things. That's why at the moment, I actually uninstall first. Maybe in the futures, I will basically apply on that back again, because we have to, okay, at this time, okay, you guys are multimedia students. If you use social media just basically to take a selfies of you only, right? But you get a good followers from there, because I don't actually seek for a lot of followers there. I just put it because it's a part of my job to expose what I've done there, okay? And I don't care how many likes that I can get from there. It's not basically my purpose of what we call that, of using or applying this kind of what we call the social media, okay, as my practice. Okay, if you actually run over to how many followers, how many likes there are, okay, you will actually be slave. You slaving yourself, okay, to that kind of purpose, and you're not going to be enjoying creating a content. I see some of my friends, some of my girlfriends, basically, right, okay, even some of my closest friends there, okay, who basically do this kind of what we call that kind of entering social media because they seek for a lot of what we call that attention. Okay, everyone need those attentions, but we not actually seek for them or craving for them. Okay, that's basically the rules that I also taught my kids about it, my children's about it. Okay, because it's a must, because it's a must of us to use social media nowadays in the right way. Okay, for my kind of concerns, I want to promote myself. I want to promote what I do basically there, okay? I have to show people what I do basically positively there, okay? Because that's the way there, okay? Because back in the days, you want to show your works, you have to go to exhibition, you have to go to galleries there, okay? People will know you based from there. But exclusively, basically, only a certain people will know you. But these days, people around the world will get to know you, even though they don't actually click the button like at your basically what we call that posts there, okay, post there, okay. But you don't have to worry there, okay, because I get all this kind of thing all the time there. I have a lot of so-called basically friends outside there, okay, but yeah, because my age, okay, but the thing is right now, not all people that we know closely, right, okay, physically, right, okay, outside there, right, okay, traditionally, are going to be like or support basically our works there, okay, in social media there. We never know, okay, how people think about us there, but don't care about it. Just do whatever that you think that you felt comfortable and enjoy yourself to work on that. Because I'm enjoying creating the visuals, but I have to be careful nowadays because not all things that I can actually share, okay, especially on my works or even on my family activities there, okay. So I kind of using a few number kind of account that I try to manage directly, and I also told also my eldest daughters also, okay, my what we call that second eldest also to get to know about all these kind of things there. Not because why? Because it's a part of the things that we have to get used to it, okay? Because we never know that, okay? One day, if we are not here anymore, there, okay? People will keep track back again what we do. Hopefully, in the good things, people can learn something from there. And of course, they're going to be a part of the digital albums, lah. Right? You look at your house nowadays, okay? Is there any albums here? Photo albums, there, right? No, they're right. So that's basically what the reason why social media is very one of the but as long as you don't actually write cut down your email. What are the thing have made mistakes once there, right, okay, because I have my Flickr account there, right, Flickr account there, right, and I add that those are one of the first social media that I use, okay, kind of a platform to promote my works, and that's where basically people get to know me well. And most of my clients, friends who know me well, who are interested on my works, start to contact me back again and calling me for another meetings to do the commission works. Okay, it's a very huge commission works there at the times. So that's why there's a good thing about social media. But you need to be active and let people get notice you by your activities there. And at the same times, don't forget to connect it with your friends in social media there. Like those works, just click those, even though they don't like or click your works or whatever they're, okay, because everyone has their own kind of responsibility. We have to think about that. We have to concern about that, right? Okay. So once in a while, when we actually be a part of their kind of connections, they will be notice us, and there's a chance. Basically, we never know, okay, people will approach us directly. And that times you have to be smart how to approach, how to manage basically that kind of what we call that situations, interactions, all right, okay, in order for you to close your deals there with them. All right, make money out of it. Simple as that. Okay. So because there's a lot of people, and don't basically say that, okay, well, I just want to show something that perfect only. I have a lot of people, right, okay, that I know. They only want to show a certain kind of specific that call perfect, okay. Don't seek for a perfections there. You never reach them. Don't worry there, and don't fake it out, lah. That's all. All right, don't fake it out there, okay. But if you just want to tease people, go ahead, because I love basically playing around. Okay, I'm using social media, okay, like Facebook also, okay, for me as a part of my amusement kind of park. Right, I don't know whether it sounds crazy or not, but it's a way basically I'm having fun out of it and also share something. Okay, this is some of my friends who teach, and also a professional artist, okay, who actually taught basically in one of the college, in the college. Right, basically my social medias, okay, I really have fun, okay, to share some of the things, the good things over there, and some of my demonstrations before, all right, that I create basically for the student for last year, digital illustration classes. I think introduction to illustration classes there, right? Okay, so I kind of like play a lot, okay. I'm using basically just to promote, to share, and even though that there is no people going to click the button like, leave it there, don't worry there, okay, because what happens to me all the times, all right, the person basically that I know in social media who actually seems to be my friend, basically my friend, normally, okay, this happened to me, okay, they start to notice, and also when we actually see each other, right, okay, we lap up with among some of our friends, some of the people, okay, that we know, they start to tell the stories, the concern, oh, I saw you actually post blah 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 like this, but they never click the button like that. We know basically, right, there's a lot of silence kind of followers there, okay, who actually did not basically think like button is a part of the must for every kind of social media kind of users there, okay. But we know basically they actually follow us in silence. That's all. So don't worry, it's there, right? Okay. Sometimes in your app, in your smartphone, you can see how many viewers that actually look at your works there, right? Okay. So those are the things there. But just keep on working there, right? Okay. People will notice you later on. But as long as you also get involved with the communities there, there's a lot of communities outside there that, okay, you guys can what we call like a lot of design communities there, right? Okay. One of it is this is basically a graphic design, graphic Malaya, whatever. Okay, you just join them, right? Okay. And then you basically going to saw basically some opportunities there, okay, learn something from other people there, right? Okay, so a lot of what we call that chances that you guys can actually access to the works, right? That's the thing, right? Okay, so work on that, right? Okay, for me, like social media, okay, sometimes I post some of the ridiculous kind of things, okay, from some of the apps. Just want to playing around, having fun, tease some of the friends, okay. So those sort of things make me feel a bit kind of like alive there, right? Okay? Those are the things there, right? Like this one, for example, here, okay. Just playing around basically with all these apps, okay. Even though some people say, okay, when we use these kind of apps, some of the organizations have our data. Yes, of course, right? Okay. We worry about that, okay. But the thing is, right now, right? Okay, this is some of the proof. Hopefully, if someone actually want to use your kind of face to do some of the bad things, you have basically some modus operandi about it. Okay, I actually have using this app basically. Okay, how come basically I can do all this kind of thing? So people, all this kind of thing hopefully can be a part of our approval. Okay, those are the things, okay, that someone actually have taken our identity, for example, do some of the bad things, okay, because we actually have using the apps, okay. Those are modus operandi basically that I actually practically that I understand it, right? So because nowadays You don't have to wait for people to take your identity on those apps there, okay? Once basically open up our smartphone, all right, using Google's there, okay, using all this kind of different kind of what we call the domain, okay. Sometimes they ask you for those identify yourself or whatever, there, okay? Even though bank there, okay. All this kind of secret service will actually have our data, okay? We cannot escape anymore there, right? So we just pray that no one basically are going to do bad things about us, okay? That's all that I always pray there, okay? So I'm actually having fun to work on that. So I exploring myself not only in the 2D kind of applications, I kind of also working also with some of the teaching applications, but it's not basically for our classes, right? Okay? This is for other subjects that I actually taught before. Okay. Those are the things that, okay, that I actually have been actually working on, right? Working on, okay. So please don't limit yourself. Once you basically going to be a part of the families of multimedias, grab yourself as much as attention is there, all right, and also grab as much as kind of skills to develop your kind of self foundations there, okay? Not only your mentals, but your kind of skills of design, okay? In order for you to surviving later on in the future, okay? Develop your careers at the same time, okay? If you talk about styles, okay, for those who actually have been with us basically in 2 weeks, all right, don't limit yourself first into the one single style, right? Okay, I'm not going to encourage you guys basically, oh, you can actually use this manga style, okay, for your works only. No, because I don't want those students, okay, limit themselves too early there, okay? Because if you limit yourself too early, you're going to put a border in front of you, right? Some wall there, okay, that no one won't be able to cross over, to break over, except yourself, okay? So when you guys start to learn in the higher educations like this, there, okay, in no such things you create those boundaries anymore in terms of develops and learn and exploring basically what you're going to what we call that apply basically on your studies there, okay? Unless people ask you to take a gun and kill yourself, those one is not right, okay? But in terms of developing your skill positively, take those chances to explore. Be brave to explore the right. I've been talking to one of my, hopefully going to be one of my supervisors, right? Okay? She's basically is one of the doctorate, okay, philosophy doctorate in manga, right? Okay, in Malaysia there. I think one of the Malaysian that I know will basically study make a manga study for her PhD there, okay? Her name will basically John Suraya, okay? Suraya Manasir, okay? She's basically, like, I have to promote. I don't mean to promote, but I want you to get to know it. If you guys really into manga there, right, okay? This is one of the person basically I know that did manga studies. He has a doctorate, okay? Dr. John Suraya, okay? Suraya, right? Okay? Who actually studies manga there, right? One of the Malaysian there, right? So she actually a comic artist at the same times, right? She making one of her debut for one of the comic blog there, right? I think comic kind of what we call that, about her journey experience basically when her studies there called Japan, all right? So I've been talking to her about my kind of research at the same time, but not officially then. So, but this is, I think, when she was there, right? there's a lot of things that you guys can follow her or get it sometimes, right? Because I have a few number kind of friends that I will take it what I want to create. I take it as a part of my supervisors that I get on my research. So that's why I'm kind of like try to get more people that I know and that I trust, basically can actually discuss together directly on the thing. But she actually now teaching at that Perak directly, UPSI directly, University Pengajian Science International College and like that, right? So those are the things there. So if you actually really into manga, right? Try to present something more like her, right? Because she actually not only love manga, but she studies manga, right? And make her PhD, master and PhD, right? In comic and manga, right? Those are the things there. So if you just try to be a wannabe kind of things, don't be like that. Of course, sometimes we have to be wannabe at the early stage, but it's good for you to furthermore understand more about what you want to do there. Okay, that's why don't try to specify yourself there first. Don't try to be classified basically what you do there first there. Learn from the foundations here, because my lesson for the past 2 weeks is all about how to make things first, how to move, how to develop your flows there first. Whatever skill that you bring over to my classes, zero knowledge or you have the intermediate kind of knowledge there, okay, please go back into the foundations here, because really important here right now. All right, about the tools, if anyone doesn't know about the tools that we're going to use. All right, okay, first of all right, this is basically some of the sample or some of the reference that I actually share with you guys, which is you guys can download them for free, that I actually get also from the one of the Google's directly kind of domain, which is can help you to gain a bit more understanding on what you're going to pursue in illustration and art and design at the same time there. Okay, if some people ask me, okay, why multimedia have drawing classes? Why multimedia have the illustrations there? Because if you really want to develop your design senses, we're not talking about I learn multimedia because I want to take photographies there, because I want to do video only, I want to do web design there, right? You can take all those kind of short courses nowadays without going to university. Okay, you just pay around, I think, 50 ringgit, below 100 ringgit to take one short courses there on Domestika, Skillshare, right, Udemy, name it there, okay? And I might going to also make it my kind of short courses, but not from that domain. Right, I plan to create also with some of the my own team there, okay, to work on that on Discord there. Right? So for those who actually want to more extra kind of things going on, right, okay, on the works, right, okay, hopefully there. But if you really want to make it for free at the times, okay, other than this kind of what we call that books, okay, how to draw manga in PDF, I have over there, the art of animal drawing, which is we're going to use them, okay, once in a while, just as a reference, and then we're going to put it into our exercise and also our assignments. Those are the things that's why I actually share some of the good kind of PDF kind of books for you guys over here. All right, if you basically new over here, okay, and you haven't basically subscribed my channel, which is I have changed the names, okay. I put it Glob Locations there, okay. Glob basically is one of my characters that I create when I was final year around 1989, but I create them around 1997, I think, right. So this is basically one of my kind of officials there, not my school, not our school, they get my kind of official YouTubes. Basically I used to upload every single of my practical and lecturing classes, and it's a roughly without cut there, right. I don't have time basically to cut them, right, okay. So please subscribe your channels. I have to remind you guys back again, and you guys can see all those videos, not only for this semesters there, right, but most of the videos that I have been create for the students since our MCO last year, right? Since our MCO last year, right? So the subject that actually have in here from introduction to illustrations, digital illustration, which is you're going to experience next semesters, and some of the 3D subjects, which is from others from our college there, okay, and some animation subjects there, okay, 2D animation subjects, okay, and also using AI, basically Adobe Illustrators, okay, vector illustrations, all right. And of course, okay, if you're comparing my kind of videos, my kind of tutorials with all these kind of other professionals, they actually create by purpose there, okay, they actually really create them for commercials there. But I really doesn't have that time at the moment there, okay. So my kind of things right here, whatever that I've been record from these sessions, I download and upload back again into my channels there. That's the thing that I've done there. So make sure you guys subscribe them, all right, because it's helped you guys to gain to what we call to increase to notice a little bit more, right, okay, about what you're going to do. You can actually go through back again. And some of the demos that I create for these semesters, okay, some of them is not entirely from our sessions there. I pre-record back again because I understand that we need basically to share with you guys, to my students, a bit more further on developing your understandings over here. All right. And of course, okay, talk about our lessons. Okay, let me check back again for you guys over here. So far, any questions? You just want to do those exercises there?
No.
Want to do those exercises there, right? I already planned those exercises for you guys, so don't worry here. All right. Let me check back again. Okay, this is basically your, this is what we call that formally basically your course syllabus there, okay, introduction to illustration classes there, okay. So we have basically 100% coursework files, courseworks basically marks there, okay, on the whole process, okay, and we have 4 different kind of activities there. I didn't put actually as part of those project as an assignment as usual there because I don't want you guys to feel these basically things that like an exam there, okay. You just want to what we call that, you have to work because you have to pass the exam there, okay. This is not the exam oriented kind of subjects there, okay. This is all about developing your discipline to develop your design senses. You understand what I mean there, right? Design senses there, right, okay. So in order to develop those design senses for this 1.5 year or 2 years of courses, we need to develop our skills in the right way. So that's why, all right, I made it this semesters. I made a bit kind of changes there again. If you're comparing to what we've been working on for the last year, basically introduction to illustration classes, right, for my videos there, I kind of do a little bit kind of more exclusively to develop the students kind of skills, all right, in the more foundations kind of method first, okay, because I find out, okay, I have a bit kind of what we call it, some of the not complaint but issues basically, okay, that students, some of the students, but not all students, but only 1 or 2 students basically, right, okay. But I find that, okay, some of them a bit kind of like disappointed because when I actually asked all these kind of questions, gave basically my kind of what we call that personal kind of contact number there, which is we have also group, what we call that WhatsApp right now there, okay? I kind of open up myself for the student ask any kind of question, but share also your samples, not only formally on the submissions in our Google Classroom, but you guys can submit also your works. And now we are going to put also some of the videos there, but not too long, okay? Durations there, only 20-30 seconds there. How actually you move your hand when you start to draw there, okay? Because it's really important we have this kind of very active kind of interactions there, communications here right now, because otherwise we cannot actually see, because we not actually just want to see your results there. I want to see your process of working here. So I actually write change, not entirely, but I tweak a little bit there, okay, just to improvise a little bit on the lessons to make it, okay, we have 4 different kind of activities there: pre-work, fundamental, okay, drawings here, okay, which is our issue from week 1 until week 5, and sometimes I get feedbacks on the spot. Sometimes I'm going to wait a little bit there, okay, until week 6, or maybe I'm going to carry over into another following weeks there, okay. Or sometimes when I'm going to give some feedbacks, or normally during basically our classes there. So please take notes if I'm not writing down there, right, okay? Because your job basically try to take notes, because I'm recording my sessions there. So I don't think I have to take notes for you guys there, right, okay? Or write down some of the notes there. Notes about what we call the consultations there, right, okay? So that means you have to be more sincere and concerned about, okay, I will take notes about what Mr. Fazal told me. And when I give that kind of comment to some of you guys, it doesn't mean that everyone is going to be safe there. You have to take note also on yourself when I actually comment some of your friend works, because you might be going to do the same thing, same mistakes there, okay? It's normal things there. So you have to be more alert and aware there, okay? Oh, I also do the same thing like this. This is how actually you guys are going to improve, okay? So I will change basically, okay, according to what Mr. Fazal told about my friend. Okay, I will change there, okay? And if you really, really want to have my one-on-one kind of what we call the consultation, just buzz me on WhatsApp, okay? Simple as that. Okay? So you guys can actually ask most of your friends over here, okay? I really, really appreciate, even though they're okay, I don't mind basically you actually text me basically on middle of the night there, okay? But if I'm not sleeping or relaxing, so I'm going to what we call that respond to your post there, okay? Those are the things there, okay? Sometimes if I missed out, right, that means my WhatsApp basically quite busy there. So you have to alert back again, right, okay? You have to remember, okay, you have around 130 plus of you guys comparing me, one person there, right, okay? So that means you the one who actually have to play a role to be active a bit more further, right, okay? So don't give up basically. Oh, Mr. Fazal didn't actually respond to me, right, okay? And then you become a raju or what, okay? I suppose to become like that basically if we don't basically do those works there in the right way, because I'm the only one person basically going to manage you guys 130 there, okay? So you guys 130 kind of comparing to me, right? So you just approach me there, okay, sir, okay, my name is, please introduce yourself, from which group, if individuals there, okay? But if you go into the group, it's more better because everyone can see and learn from you guys. Learn doesn't mean, oh, you have to become very good at your drawings. People will learn from you. People will learn also from our mistakes. That's the most important thing here. So don't be shy, hesitate, or worried, oh, my drawing is not good. Most of people actually are going to make the same mistakes, guys. Even though you saw some of your friends who can draw well, when they start to work with this kind of exercise, they start to realize, oh, I have to learn a bit more further right here. Okay, so we have those kind of pre-work fundamentals is the most important kind of exercise before we go through with another like human anatomy. Okay, even though human anatomy for project 1 is a part of those what we call that like assignments there, but I put into the project 1, project 2 animal anatomies, project 3 final illustrations is more imaginative kind of projects, but it requires a reference there. We don't actually draw from out of nowhere. Don't try to cheat yourself. Oh, I can draw from my imaginations. Yes, but imaginations will came with reference. You combine them all together. That's what we are going to talk today, basically, okay, and show a bit, right, hopefully. All right. So no imaginations came from out of nowhere there, okay. Don't try to be smart or act smart on that kind of particular kind of methods of working in my class. I won't accept it, right? Because each design work that you're going to be produced, there has to be a reference. That's why all the times, okay, when you guys actually submit your works like this, okay. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, 132 students here, okay. All right, I really appreciate your kind of efforts over here. It's right. It's required you guys to submit your works with the reference there. So this is basically our format of submissions. Each exercise, and hopefully including your project 1, please record basically your demonstrations there. All right, how actually you do things there, right? Okay, because this is basically our technologies era there, okay. So even though we don't see each other there, we make a full use of our efforts, of our materials, our tools here right now to develop basically our demos, to show people how actually we do those works. So now, from here, whatever things that you're going to draw from now on, there has to be a reference. All right? You saw basically some of the activities that your friend have done right now. We call it line drawing, contour line drawing exercise there, right? No one will draw as perfect as they want to be there, right? Okay. But the thing is right now, the methods of working it, the way they produce them, how actually they move their hands there to draw. You take a look on the videos there. Okay, when we draw, we don't move, we don't take or lift off our hands before we complete your line there, right? I have actually explained a lot, okay, the main objective of this exercise, all right, of this exercise there. Okay, even though you can take a look there, okay, the way that he hold the hands there, okay, a bit kind of hard there, okay, and stress it out there, right, okay. See, and he kind of draw on the outline. That's also one of the second mistakes there. Okay, drawing outline only, not the entire form of those subjects. So they made it wrong here. Take a look back again, Xiao Kim, how actually I've moved my hand when I draw those hands. Okay, you draw only outline there, right? Outline only there, right? Okay, even though with this kind of drawings there, contour line drawing exercise like this, I would say it's not that easy, not for you only, for me. All right, to make sure that you guys can change the way you draw before we get to start our project 1. But if you don't actually try to make those major changes there, so how I move my hands right here, from now on, okay, I never lift off my pen when I draw. I didn't use erasers when I draw. Even though I make mistakes, I just leave it there and continue to do those works there. Okay, complete those kind of drawings there. Okay, of course, again, some of the line works over here is not that strong enough, okay, for me to what we call that record there, okay. But you guys can see basically the ideas how actually we work at things there. This is my imagination's drawing based by using those contour line drawing exercise. But my imagination drawings, which is that I try to draw, were based on my own face. I didn't look to any kind of reference except I tried to imagine myself. But from those imaginations came from understanding that. Okay, the resources came from my experience. But we are not going to do this imagination drawing, but you can try them. You can basically try them as a part of your own kind of routine exercise, but you don't have to submit them at the moments there. Okay? So, because not all exercise that we are going to do has to be submit all the time. Okay? Because some of the routine kind of work that you've been working on is only for good to yourself there. You're the one who will learn and understand the beneficial that you gain from that exercise there, right? So take a look back again, Xiao Kim and the rest of you guys, how actually I draw my hands and how actually I develop the constructive kind of line works, okay, from this exercise by controlling my hands in the right way, at the same time use the flows and the form of the structures directly without take off my pencils or pen when I draw, and how actually construct basically this continuous line together there, right? I didn't draw any outline there, right? Only. Just now when you draw that, okay, you draw that outline. There's a wrong way basically to move your hands. You have to change back again. For the rest of you guys who do the same thing, make sure you change that. And for those who actually say, oh, can I have late submit, don't worry there. Just submit your work either late or not, because we haven't actually complete anything yet until week 13. All right, until week 13 there. So don't worry about it. Still have time for you to improve. Those are the things that I want to do, those progressions kind of works. All right, take a look my quality of line. It's not because the skill that I have. You can do the same thing, but you need to find back again the right way to work with it. I already show you guys there how it works. Because this kind of methods we are going to use when it comes to, we have these two different kind of media that we're going to use there, right? Okay, for those who actually new for this week there, okay, who actually just came. We're going to use computers, we're going to use traditional and digital methods there, okay? One of the reasons we're going to jump over into digital, okay, later on, because you guys basically are going to be exposed with the digital kind of tools for the next semesters there. But this semester's image manipulation subjects requires also for you to have those kind of applications like Photoshop, AI there, okay? And one of the materials that everyone should have, must have basically, right, okay, is the tablets there. Okay, for those who actually have bought the tablets, good there, okay? I can recommend you guys to have this tablet pen, which is on tablets, all right? Okay, but this is quite expensive there, right? So we have a few number kind of what we call that. That can be a little bit more convenient there, right? Okay, to work, so, okay, around below 100 there, right? Okay, like this one there. So this is one of my recommendations, huh? All right. Or you can get also from Intuit directly. This is only two, what we call that, tablets that I actually mainly use, all right, to work, okay? Or I saw XP pen from one of the students there, okay, who have actually bought them before, okay? And I've tested them also, okay? So XP pen also can be used there, okay? Just like this one, okay? 200, so there. 110, this is only a pen, maybe, okay? I don't know, okay, whether they actually sell the tab, but normally they have to sell the tablets there. Otherwise, we can use the works there, right? So depending on your budget there, okay? But all these three different kind of, what we call that brand, you guys can use them. It's a very good investment for the early stage. Get used to it, because we're going to use a lot, not only for my subjects, every single subject, right? Even though animations, you want to draw characters, you have to use this tablet there. If you use mouse to draw, you're not going to be succeed there, okay? Because one of the main criteria that you guys have to know, okay? When we start to use tablets, okay? It's really important for the user to know, if you want to use tablets, the purpose why we use tablet, because we can get strokes. Right? Use mouse here, there, right? This is what you have. This is the one that one of the things that we don't want to have in terms of evaluations there. One of the criteria that you guys have to know to get you past when you use tablets, even though when you start to do those demonstrations on sketchbooks, okay, drawings, okay, you can develop this kind of drawing line over here. See? Control those strokes here, right? You guys can see that, right? Draw the primitive shapes there. Yeah. Okay. You have this kind of ability to control the strokes really well. These are the most important thing that you should apply, learn, improve, and change the way you draw. I don't want people to draw the line like this anymore. You want to draw human, you draw like this. Not about the styles of drawing or type of drawings there, but the methods that is wrong. Not the structures there, okay? Because of course, we want to draw humans, we have to draw structures there. But my structures right now, my quality of line that I produce, with this one is obviously different there, right? So compare the quality of line that I produce from now on and what you produce on your papers right here. All right, we are going to work on that, okay, after this. I'm going to show back again how it works there, right? Any questions so far? Take a look back again, right? Okay, even though I didn't use erasers, this is basically how actually we produce them. And we control our line over here. Take a look here, okay, when I draw humans there. How actually I basically control my hands efficiently, okay, using the tools over here, right? You're going to work on that. Don't worry there, guys. This is only my guide, so I really change back in. I'll make mistakes all the time, okay? Everyone will make mistakes when they sketch, right? You ask any professionals, okay, they're going to do a lot of mistakes from there. But we know how to improvise and manage from there. So this is basically what we try to achieve for our students. Each student that we want to basically train here. The ability to draw in the right way there first. Not, oh, I learned to draw manga actually, right, in my classes there, right? Now I can draw manga. It's not that kind of thing that we want. To draw in the right way there first, to get that kind of confidence when we draw. That's basically the thing that we want you to do. Either you're going to use computers or you're going to draw using digitals there, okay, entirely later on. The methods has to be right first. A lot of people who doesn't achieve the thing that they should learn and improve for the subjects because of this. Period, leader. Right? If you look at yourself back again until week 14, you still draw like this, that means you don't apply what we learned, you don't put your much effort to develop your skill from here. Because we're going to go through with the foundations there, guys. What are the foundations of drawings that we learn right now? You want to draw eyes or eyebrows, definitely. See, when I draw you, those eyebrows, using the contour line drawing there, guys. Okay, for those who actually just joined, okay, take a look at how I actually draw eyes using the continuous line there. Every line will be continuous draw there, right? We're working on with the continuous line over here. What are these basically? The line over here, if you may ask there, right? Okay, this is basically the contour line that form basically the structures of the human face that I try to draw. You draw the nose. I didn't lift off my pencil like here there, okay, just now, but I just put a very light kind of motions there. You see that? When you have that kind of understanding, easy for you to move your hands and draw in the right way without having a constructive kind of line over here. Comparing back again, okay. Comparing the measurements, don't worry, we're going to do that later on. But right now, what you're going to have more kind of what we call your responsibility is right here, is to control your hands. I see a lot of people, even though that Xiao Jin, okay, just now, okay, who made that kind of common mistakes there. Even though you guys have been complete, but if you still cannot draw your hands in the right way there, okay, see the way I draw my hands right now. Why actually have draw all this kind of stuff there, okay? Because of the structure that I saw that form basically the skeleton, the bone of my hands. I just draw them slightly, and then I draw my fingers there. But right now, I made a mistake just now there, okay? But I didn't actually manage to erase them. This is basically the beauty, the values that you bring over to your lessons there. Right now, I'm drawing these hands from my understanding there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm afraid I draw 6 fingers there. Right? But I have one of my friends have another same fingers over there. He's teaching also in one of the university at UniKL there, okay? He's doing also some multiple discipline kind of studies there. See guys, I'm using the same kind of drawing that we've been working on for the last 2 weeks, but they show basically the value of my kind of line. That's basically that you have to change that first. Okay? All right, guys. So change the way you draw from now on before you're going to do whatever that you want, basically, right? To improve more on your understanding there. All right, guys. Any questions? Basically there's a lot of things that I want to share there, okay? That I want to talk about there, okay? But that's why you have to admit there, okay? We have to admit, okay? Even though it's quite, sometimes you feel a bit kind of like, oh, too much there, okay? We have 2 sessions with Mr. Faisal there, okay, lecturing class and then practical class, okay, for a week there, okay, and he gave us basically 20 drawings. This week we have around another 10 drawings, but I'm going to give you guys by stack there, okay. So we have a commit for this today. Each one of you guys only 1 drawing first. I submit on Sunday. 5 drawing first. I submit on Sunday there, okay. because we want to test more on your way of producing your drawings there, okay? So, okay, thank you. No, okay. So other group, okay, do you have any questions there? The next rooms? Do you have any questions there before we continue them? New students, do you have any questions? Okay, if you don't have my numbers, you can get from our class rep. Who actually a course rep here? Course rep? Who is it? Do you have any course reps? Normally we have one leader there, okay, and one assistant, okay, for the whole batch there, right? Anyone become a course rep here? No, not yet. But class rep here, you guys have that, right? Each one of you guys, 8 classes there. So, Xiao Kim, please remember that, okay? The method that you draw is totally wrong here, okay? So when you draw just now, each one of you guys also who actually have been experienced before, you guys kind of draw something like this, okay? You just draw, okay, you press a lot, and then you draw on the outline like this. And then suddenly you don't know how to change. You take off those pen, then you draw another one there, right? This is some of the common mistake that people do. That's why your drawings look quite stiff and also doesn't have the quality of line that the value that we want, okay? It doesn't show the natural kind of motions there, right? Of those kind of form that you want to create, okay? You have to remember also one thing. Every single form and object have an organic shapes. That we call this one organic shapes, and also a geometric shapes there, right? Okay. Shapes there. Organic shapes, like natural kind of shapes, all right? I think you guys will do this exercise a bit more specific on intro to art there, okay? I'm not mistaken there. Okay, what are the things that you get, you have for those introduction to art right now? Do you have any assignments, any exercise that you've been working on? And can someone actually share with me? Then I want you to inline a little bit, or I just want to know that whether you guys have been learning something from there. What you guys learn from there? Introduction to art. Portrait there, drawing portrait there. How actually draw those portraits? How actually you draw those portraits? The method that you guys using there right now. Or maybe because pencil shading there. But with your own style, is it? How about the proportions? What are the purpose basically you guys been working on that? All right, how about the lecturing class? Do you get any kind of theory, kind of notes about element and principle of design? Do you guys get insight, more details on element and principle of design on your lecturing class? Okay, good. So contrast and line, I guess. Contrast is a part of those principles. Line is a part of those elements that we're going to manipulate all those kind of things. harmonize and unity, varieties, unity. So it's all about the principles there. So both kind of principles and element of design that you guys use, yes, good, common, shapes too. We are going to use that entirely for every single design works there, right? That's why you guys have to learn all these foundation fundamentals there. You talk about any design school, we don't talk about anime first or manga first, okay? Because all those kind of styles came from all these principles there. Came from that principles there first, okay? So what we're going to talk today, thank you very much guys for responding there, okay? Because like I said there before, okay, every single design subjects that you guys been experienced for each basically what we call that courses or semesters there, okay, they're going to be related with one another there, okay. So we kind of like all the lectures are going to talk with the same language, even though in our own way, right? Just like you guys, you have your own styles or your kind of way of drawings there, okay? But we going to work according to the methods that fits before you're going to develop your style from time to times, okay? So our week 3, okay, just like I said last week, basically, I did give you guys also some sort of insight there, okay, about gesture drawings there. Why are we talking about gesture drawing? Okay, because this is one of the way that we can sketch fast. One of it. Gesture drawing is all about, it's a part of those observations, drawing exercise, which is lead us to develop the flows of our hands when I draw. That's why I really stress out there, okay? If you don't draw in the right way, just like you saw your friend just now, okay, don't take offended, okay, Xiao Kim. It's a good kind of samples that you can share, and you should feel blessed that I actually choose you basically today as a part of our models there, okay? Because I make mistakes a lot there, okay? And until today, when I draw some things and I sketch something there, right, I will make a lot of mistakes. But I kind of get used to it because it's a part of our training when we develop those skills. And they give me a lot of advantage there to develop it more further from there. Right, this is some of the demonstration. This is basically what I did basically for my weekend, right? My weekend kind of works. All right, okay, let me share. I'm using charcoals here. Anyone actually have used charcoal before? If you don't have, it's okay, right? Okay, but I just want to introduce to you guys here. This is one of the gesture drawings there, okay? Based on the models there. This is my models there. Right? This is my models there. But normally when we learn to draw, you want to draw based on the subject according similar to what you saw. Right now, we learn the techniques first. We don't copy exactly the right thing. We learn the techniques, how to move our hand first in the right way. We don't basically try to copy, oh, I want to draw exactly, and people will like my works, and then people will praise me a lot, right, okay? And I will find a lot of confidence from there. I become popular, right, okay? All those kind of things get off from your mind at first. Don't seek for any validations. Don't seek for any kind of likeness. Always pray for the words that you can improve from there. Those are the things that I've done there, okay? My kind of way of working like that. Even though I know how I actually present those works, I know basically people will like it, but I always pray for the words there. I could prepare for the words there, right? Okay? Because if you don't actually expect anything, you will focus more on what you do for that thing there, right? Okay? You're going to push yourself further from there. So this is basically one of my gesture drawing sample, which I'm going to share with you guys. Okay, I'm going to shoot those photos back again and put it in our Instagram as a samples. And of course, Why? Okay, if you use pen, you use pencils, it's okay. Don't worry, you guys can use them, right? So anyone actually have been exposed with the charcoal before? Charcoal is not for barbecue, right? It's not for barbecue, right? Okay, charcoal pen, charcoal tablets, there, right? Charcoal pencils there. Not for grills, okay? Don't get me wrong there, right? This is what we call charcoals that we use there. Okay, when I was like you guys, one of the things that I remember that when I learned formally, I also doesn't know charcoal there, right? I don't know charcoals. What is charcoal there? Okay, I don't know basically that how to use them basically at the same time. Okay? I know only pencils there, and I don't even know how to draw using pen there, right? Because I always use erasers there to erase my drawings. But in our terms right now, no erasers allowed there, right? Okay, we're going to use erasers maybe later on when we want to work with those tablets, but not as much as we need basically, okay? Because we're going to have to use layers there. That's why we don't need erasers there all the time. There. We have the layers there on Photoshops, which is one of the requirement also, adopt Photoshop there, right? If you guys say, okay, can I use Krita? Can I use this one? Can I use this one? Yes, you can. But professionally, if you go to printing, right, normally they're going to use Adobe brand, okay, Adobe applications there. You go to any printing shop, right, most of that using Photoshop, right? Adobe Photoshop, Adobe what we call the InDesign there, right, okay, Adobe AI to do those artworks there, right? So that's why I recommend you guys to use Photoshops. Okay, this is charcoals there for those who actually familiar with, okay, or if you can have the access, just bought them, just buy them, and you guys can experience them, okay, in the different kind of way there, okay. But it's not basically compulsory there. If you just want to pursue this a bit more further to explore, you guys can. But when it comes to normally, if we actually have the face-to-face, kind of what we call that, classroom kind of sessions, yes, I'm going to make it a part of the compulsory lah. But because you guys have invested in digitals there, okay, I don't want to make it compulsory, but my job basically, my responsibility to give you guys some examples there, okay, about what basically traditionally people use basically when they come to develop their portrait, their illustration. Because when you use charcoals, normally they give a different kind of effects on your drawings there, okay. So you guys can actually learn to get as hyper realistic that you can using charcoals there. So those are the good thing about it, okay. If you check look at some of the charcoal artists there, okay, most of the artists there, okay, like Ahmad Zaki, if you want to second there, right? One of the Malaysian artists there, right? This is one of the Malaysian artists that this is the guy there, right? But he never teach me. But he actually among of my lectures kind of friend there, okay? This is one of his charcoal drawing. Alright? Ahmad Zaki there, okay? Charcoal drawings there. This is not photography there, guys. This is charcoal drawings. And basically it's a huge drawings there. It's a huge drawings there, right? Okay? But he used the models there, okay? Photographic models, he draw them back. Okay? Same goes to this one. It's not photography, it's not a black color photography there. It's the charcoal drawings there, right? On papers. Okay? My guru basically is this one there, right? One of prolific kind of Malaysian artists also. I've been trained by them, okay, by this guy also there, okay? Jalani Abu Hassan there, right? Okay. So this is basically one of my lectures, my gurus, okay, my foundation years there. And still what we call that active and alive there, right? Okay, so that's why if you look at some of the works that I've done there, okay, it's kind of influenced my kind of what we call it, what I've learned from someone there, right? Okay, but I mixed them up all together there. So I didn't have one influence basically that I actually do for my works, okay. I kind of like mix them up, all the influence that I have from the local artists that have been taught there, okay, formally, and also from international artists there, okay, at the same times, okay, like Dave McKean there, okay. So I've been influenced with a lot of artists there, okay, but then specified myself there towards. And one of the Japanese artists that I love very much is Koji Morimoto there, right? From Studio 4C there, okay. So this is one of the Japanese kind of manga artists there, okay, that I actually follows and influenced there, okay. But I did not actually copy direct from all these kind of artists here, because it's going to be a copycat like that. But I'm using their kind of elements to influence my works. So I put it into my kind of illustration and design at the same time, like this one there, right? Okay. So if you have your kind of influence, kind of artists you like most, okay, but don't stick to one there, okay. You can basically develop it more further, improvise and change the method that you want. So I mix them up there, okay. A little bit kind of fine artist kind of approach on my comics, and also a bit kind of anime, manga kind of styles there, but not entirely there to work from there, okay. So I kind of like mix them up all together there, right, okay, to do to develop my kind of illustrations works. So that's why, right, if you have that kind of multiple kind of disciplines, and you have built up those kind of strong foundations, you can basically improvise things, okay, furthermore, okay, for the better of your works there, right. That's basically the things that I'm using image manipulation a bit, combined with drawings there. But this is basically an old kind of stuff that I've been working on before there, okay, around 2003, I'm not mistaken there, again, 2002, 2003, if I'm not mistaken there. I can't remember right at the time there, okay, oh, 2004 there, again. So you guys can check a look also some of the finishing kind of works that I actually been working on there before in my webtoon there, right. But this is also some of the work that you guys see from here, right. I'm joining webtoon actually, right, earlier, I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, actually, because one of the students from one of the colleges that I know there, okay, she's from Indonesia. She's the one who actually, right, really active enough on this webtoon there, okay. I actually can get it right. I kind of don't remember my password over here, because I have a lot of ways to application and domain there, okay. Now I try to centralize all my password all together. Webtoon is one, if you guys familiar, Webtoon is one of most famous kind of online comics nowadays who actually featured a lot of artists there, right. I just do it because I would just want to promote back again my old things there, okay, to the new audience, that's all. And of course, I want to keep also some of my portfolios there before basically I miss them out there already. So that's why I'm using Webtoon there to works. Where is it, right? Is it here? Yeah. Some of the comics that I actually have seen. but not entirely. Mine basically this one there, right? Okay. I can check back again based on these names here. I don't know why actually the line is quite slow over here. So go back into this one. So about get drawing back again, we're talking about the primitive shapes there, okay, to develop that kind of understanding, not to draw entirely like this, okay? Don't get me wrong here, okay? I just want to give you guys some lecturing about a primitive shape. What is primitive shape is all about there, okay? Structuralizations there. There's a few number kind of methods that we need to go through, but one of the things that we have been working on before is structuralizations on the shapes by using manipulation of those techniques with observations, exercise. All right, these three things there, okay? So that's the three things that you have to develop first, and one of the three important things of these 6 principles that you have to develop your understanding here first. Without that kind of understanding, you won't be able to up yourself into another levels for the following weeks. I already mentioned to you guys before, following weeks are going to be a bit more kind of difficult there, okay? Especially if you don't improve right now. The only thing that make people change is yourself. I'll provide you guys some guidance. You need to make those changes there, all right? So structuralizations is all about these primitive shapes here first. But we're not using primitive shapes only to develop our understanding, but we try to manipulate them, combine them by using our observations, and we try to educate at the same time to develop that kind of understanding by drawing a certain kind of specific object or reference there, or subject matters at the same time. Okay? And the reason why I choose this kind of sample, because if you take a look at how actually they construct the line, they don't have the solid kind of line there to construct that. But of course, okay, this one is one of the samples, how they use those primitive shapes to develop the structure first of the human body there, okay, before they add those kind of details. Don't look at something that I give into the surface there, okay. That means some people, they kind of look at it and then just copy them. No, that's not the reason there. If I show some anime, manga kind of basic structures there, okay, I didn't mean for you guys to draw exactly basically that kind of subject matters according to the specific kind of reference like this. You can try, but you have to use basically your understanding to construct those lines. Okay? And of course, this is basically the Getch's line is all about that, okay? We actually develop the rough kind of form structures of anatomies there, but without complete those kind of drawing. I don't want to have those complete drawings there. But comparing the quality of line that you produce and the sample that I gave and the demonstrations that I did for the entire week later on with your drawing skills. Okay, we're not actually trying to draw any details there, okay? So for this week, for the first part, okay, part 1 of our exercise over here, week 3, I already told you guys, okay, if we want to we have to complete, if we can complete 15 exercise before we start our practical for our project 1 there, okay? Maybe in week 6, maybe we extend a bit, depend, okay? Don't worry about those deadline there, okay? Because they stated for our program there, okay? But I'm going to take a look each one of you guys, hopefully your kind of improvement there, okay? Along the way. So using the contour line drawing and sketch line drawing techniques, not detailing there, okay? By controlling the strokes, to develop those understanding to create by using, sorry, the words, okay, the flow of the strokes and design and gesture drawing technique which combine the basic structures and soft, round, primitive shape to guide to complete the artworks there. All right. 5 drawing based from the sample that I'm going to attach below, use them. Though if you want to draw other things, go ahead there, okay. but we are not doing portrait. We are not doing those detail there, okay? I want you guys to construct the line structures by using this kind of gestures line drawing from that samples there. All right. And of course, if you could do work it back again, okay, all this kind of thing will develop your kind of the last thing, imaginations there slowly. But the imagination that you're going to create will based on this primitive shape that you're going to construct on your drawings. And you try to imitate basically those kind of shapes together there, okay, to combine them together basically with your drawings there. Basically, all the 6 principles, we are going to combine them during the process of drawings. Okay, you learn and understand by doing, not just reading them. If I give you guys a lot of words there, okay, a lot of theoreticals there, okay, if you're not actually doing much exercise, it won't help you to improve there. I saw some of your friends just now, right? Even though they have done a few, still they make mistakes. It's not that easy. They got to change the way you draw, but you have to change before you're going to level up your skill to use technologies there. All right, some materials, you can use ball pen or sketchbooks, 2B or 4B pencil, 5B pencils, okay, but making your sharpener, okay, or if you want to try charcoal, go ahead. All right, on paper or sketchbooks only there, okay. All right, how many of you guys have bought those tablets and tried them? All right, submissions 12 p.m. Sunday. Every Sunday we are going to submit our exercise, and this is part 1. Part 2 I'm going to give on the practicals there, or maybe after practicals there, right? Okay, just to playing around with it. Okay, nothing much. PDF format including sample beside the artwork, right? Sample going to be beside the artworks there, okay, the pictures there, okay. And 1 video demo, only 20 to 30 seconds there, guys. I saw, okay, some students, right, record 5 minutes, 3 minutes. We don't want to look all this kind of long version of your drawings there, guys. By looking at 30 seconds, 20 seconds, we know whether you're doing right or not. That's all. Okay, that's all. And you guys also know, oh, I'm doing wrong in 20 seconds there, okay, I can change there, okay. Don't wait for too long to make those changes there. Okay, and this is basically the samples of photos that I get. 5 there, okay, of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So some of you guys have been drawn this before using your own styles, and the proportion is wrong there, right? So try to work on that using this kind of methods there. Right? Okay, way down. But I use it after finish a drawing that use crayon to color, like outlining. What do you mean by that there, right? Nurul.
Usually after
Finish?
finish coloring a crayon drawing and I use crayon, we usually outline it, any details of it.
Can you show me the samples then? Because what you can present it, right? And we can see the difference there. Everyone can see the screen there, right, from the room? Before we display, I'm going to show some demo a bit there, okay? We now have demo on digitals, but I want the demo on the what we call that, on easel there. Which one there? This one. Nope, I don't want to have any details yet. Okay, this is only for our finished works there. Nurul, you actually has Instagram, right? Anyone have Instagram who actually have upload your works? I might going to click, okay? Adelina. Yeah, I don't want to have any kind of details like that. Adelina, what are you just now, Derek?
What's that?
You on Insta there?
I mean the IG.
Yeah, the IG.
Wait.
So if you have basically some of the things that can feature your works on Instagram, right, okay? Okay, thank you. It will be more beneficial for people to get to know them, okay? All right. So this is some of your friend works. She actually have been using the, I think, tablet before, right? So been experienced them. But like I said, okay, don't look at what she can do, because she already understand, hopefully, okay, on my kind of way of teaching there, okay. I don't care if you can draw any kind of anime or manga styles at the moment. Go back into the foundations there first, okay? Because I don't want people basically take a wrong kind of perception that, oh, she can draw anime, so can I draw anime? If you can do better than other people who actually you saw, you have that kind of understanding, is good. But the problem is normally people try to become things that they cannot actually produce. And of course, okay, some of the proportion has to be improved a bit more further there, okay? But it's a good thing, okay, if you can multiply, you can develop basically your kind of understanding and also exposures there into different kind of styles, okay? One of the student also that I have, like this one there, okay, from Indonesia is there, okay? Now she's doing some commissions from back to back on the what we call it, I think Discord or another Twitch there, right? Okay, some commissions there. So I saw basically, even though when she actually into my class, there's a few number kind of her friends also has done a very good kind of has a kind of talents there, okay. But I didn't teach them basically the foundations, fundamentals there, okay. So we did basically a big kind of advanced illustration that has come with the digital, okay. So I kind of like saw some of the students also had that kind of good understanding on developing their own styles there. But the thing is, they never questions about basically to develop the foundations here, okay, because they know basically the foundation is very important there, especially there, okay. This is what I actually experienced before with among some of my friends. People basically who can draw a realistic portrait, they can easily develop their different kind of styles there when they want to draw cartoon, manga styles, or American kind of what we call the comic styles in the futures there. But those who just obsess themselves to draw on the cartoon or manga normally there, right? It's basically hard for them to switch basically their kind of skills to develop into more realistic kind of works in the future. They kind of limit themselves there. So that's why you must be able to be ready to make some changes, okay? Because if you can control, we're talking about if you can control your drawing line very well, it's not that hard for you to develop this kind of exercise, my exercise there, okay? My exercise there, right? Because you already know how to control the pressures well there, okay? But if you can't basically to control the pressures well, you kind of like to develop, you kind of like to learn the basic foundations, okay, all over again there, right? Okay, this is the time for you to make some changes from now on. You develop those changes from now on here first. All right. Improve first, basically, your kind of understanding. I have 14-year-old daughters right now who taking one of the classes, not from me, from my friend. Okay. But she also love anime. This is a new generation. I really encourage you guys to work on that. Don't worry there. Okay? Even though my friend, okay, hopefully become my supervisors, okay, in and out there, okay, like Jun Suraya there, right? She also studies manga there, right? So I kind of also develop that kind of things, okay, once in a while, basically for a certain kind of job there, right? Okay? But I not actually try to gain enough, okay, I want to draw manga only all the time there, okay? So those are the things there. But it's good for you guys to explore but more further, because most people who can draw manga, if you saw on this webtoon there, okay, they have basically a strong foundations on figure drawings, gesture drawings, and stuff there, right? So whatever that right now that your friend doing here is a gesture line there, right? It's just gesture line, but they use manga, anime kind of styles that it works. And you guys know that, right? If you really studies all these anime manga styles, okay, how many manga styles they have in the world there, okay? So you have to understand that, okay? Like Shonan, Shogun, or whatever, like a Chibi there, right, okay? All those kind of names, all those kind of types of manga, okay? You have to understand that first, okay? When you want to pursue yourself to develop them. Okay, so those are the things then. So it's a good things you guys can see from here what basically some of your friends have done. Okay, and try to compete each others in the right way. Try to compete with each other in the right way. Okay, don't just, oh, I don't like her style, I like this one there, right? Okay, or she styles this like this. Don't comparing and put a border on yourself. Even though I also get this kind of thing, feelings, basically, right, okay, as a human being, right, okay, when I look at some of my friends who can done a bit more better than me, but how actually I compete them, simple thing. I try to do different things that will find a bit kind of weird and stand out from them, okay, that's all there, right? If I know, okay, oh, this guy can draw with my kind of details there. I have one of my Facebook friend, a lot of Facebook friends, right? One of them is Alan Hua, right? He actually right now working with the Industrial Light Magic, if I'm mistaken, there. Before that, he doing a lot of international comics there. His styles is purely American comic styles there, and a lot of major details there, right? I love that kind of style when I was your age, because I exposed myself to a lot of what we call that techniques there, okay? But when I get more older, I find my own kind of weapon of choice there, okay, that I can use in certain kind of situations there. Like this one, this comics there, okay? I try to create only 2 days there, okay? With I think 16 or 12 pages there, okay? So the story that I create also is very experimental, and also I kind of like develop them basically by out of the spontaneous, that very spontaneous kind of feeling. What I felt right at that times, I just cash it out there, okay, and put it in those panels there. So I kind of mixed up them, okay, using Photoshop that works, and because we had that kind of what we call that a workshop that I actually facilitated with my friend there, okay, at the times there. So I want to show you some of the candidates, okay, how we can actually create comics in the most spontaneous way without a lot of planning there, okay. And I mixed up with my children's drawings, okay, or my I think this is one of my daughter's drawing, and when she was around, I think standard 1 or I remember, okay, when she was at primary schools there. So I can mix up together, okay, with the drawing line, okay. So if you have that kind of flexibilities on your works, trust me one thing, you can draw anything you want there, right? But the methods of drawings has to be right first. You have to conquer first your methods of drawings there. The one that you saw just now there, okay? There's supposed to be smooth kind of line there, not too controlled there. Okay? You have to lose a little bit on your line at the same time. Okay, that's basically one of the most important things here. All right, take a look here. If we want to draw, all right, according to our reference, hopefully everyone can see from here. Okay, let's just say that I'm going to draw one of our samples there, right? Let's just say that, okay, this one. Okay, the point is right now, okay, a lot of people there, right, when they want to draw something, they always trap themselves to draw every single detail. They cannot actually construct the basic structures there, even though this is basically only in roughly inside, even though I have to show you guys a bit more further before the right here. All right. So normally, right, if I want to draw, you guys can see the screen and also the reference here, right, guys? Say yes if you can. Okay, good. For another group, another room, can you guys see that? All right, if I want to draw them here, okay, thank you very much there. Start with the basic structures here, hopefully you can get. Okay, when I want to draw, okay, even though our first exercise that we did, okay, hopefully the new students, okay, please check back again those YouTube channels, right? Okay? What are the things that you guys, we actually have been exposed before. And then you guys can ask any question, okay, after this, okay, in our after our last sessions there, okay? Because I have a last session until 4:30 there, right? So if I want to draw something in the gestures line, okay, this is what I do basically, okay, using the primitive kind of what we call that shapes there, right? Okay, it works on that. So I'm going to start with basic structures like this. See the circle line. I try to draw a bit kind of what we call that. And then I'm going to start to draw the line of actions that define. The line of actions that define, if I can see from there down there. Okay? The whole structures of those figures there first. The backbone of it, okay? And then what we can do, okay, can you see my hands over here when I draw here, right? I will draw basically those kind of movements, right? Okay? Like this. Okay? The hand, okay, when I draw. Can you see that when I move here? I kind of like not press too much when I draw, but I move a little bit more. Okay, when you use pen or pencil, okay, you guys can do the same thing here right now. Just to show the gesture pose only there, the shapes that actually apply from there. Okay, it's not basically purely details there. Okay, you want to understand the whole kind of structures that fits. The whole structures that fits. Okay. I'm using a contour line drawings at the same time combined with sketch line drawings there. This exercise you need to basically to develop a lot of movement on your pencil. Using pen and pencil is a very convenient way, but not basically using erasers that works there. Okay, please don't use erasers there. When I want to draw, even though you make some mistakes over here, don't worry, guys. So just leave it there, the hand, and then I draw a bit more further on the legs there. Not much detail, right? Look roughly, is it? So this is basically the point of our exercise over here. To develop basically kind of understanding back again. I made a lot of mistakes just now because you know that when I draw by looking also at the screen, right? It's quite hard basically to adjust basically my kind of vision. You guys can see that how actually I control that. Okay, one of the good thing about if you're using charcoals, you guys can get all this kind of roughness there, okay, on the gestures kind of flows there. Okay, I didn't actually, if I want to add a bit kind of detail there, right here, on the hair strokes, shapes, okay. I didn't do much there, right, from there. So this is basically the thing that we try to basically improve the right first. No much details there. The line look quite messy a little bit, okay? But I'm doing those kind of messy line on purpose. I didn't press too much like this. Like this. If some of the students draw like this, they're right. It's wrong already. Right? Use your pencils there, okay? When you use pencil, for example. I'm going to do some demonstrations later on using my phone's pre-recordings. We'll show you guys how it works there. If using pencils there, guys, see how I actually draw using your sketchbooks. See, I'll move my hands there. Right? Rubbing like rubbing there, right? Okay? Like rubbing kind of thing there. See? You see that? The line works of those pencils. Okay, I will do some pre-recordings on this one, just to give you guys more understanding on how actually I move basically my hands. It's just like a scribbling kind of drawings there, but they give the movements, the flows, the movements of your kind of structures when you draw them. Okay, that's basically the things that we basically want to explore on our movements of our hands. All right. I think for those who actually can draw, have that kind of understanding, you're not going to have a lot of problems right here. All right, to work on that. This is what we call those gestures drawings there. Okay. All right. Those are the things that we call gestures drawings over here. Right. If you basically don't have that kind of confidence yet, right? Okay. Use your hands over here. Don't draw like this one. I saw you draw like this one, right? Okay, some of you can draw like this. Hard to control there, guys. Change the way you draw here. Draw the circles there, right? See? It doesn't have any senses, right? Okay? It's not actually right common sense there. Move your hands over here to draw those kind of motions there. Draw a lot like this from now on. Even though I demand there, right, basically, okay, 5 drawings. Don't be too naive, okay, that, oh, only 5 drawings that will complete, okay? The motions that you want to create. 5 drawings, but each drawings in one piece of paper, you can actually draw like this, just to practice yourself. Okay? Just to practice yourself there. And record those videos at the same time. Okay, 20 seconds only there, okay? You put or ask your brothers, your sisters, basically your siblings, basically to hold your cameras, okay? And start to draw that way. Okay? This kind of line works, this kind of line work of gestures line to improve other than those contour line drawings there. Right, for those who actually learn what we call that, try to control your line like this, hold the pencils like this, change the way you hold your pencil there. Basically, if I want to draw in my sketchbooks here, all right, Okay, this is basically one of my gesture line drawing using pen. Okay, using pen there, right? Okay, 12.6, right? Okay, 12.6. Don't worry there. Okay, I just want to show you guys one more there, right? Okay, let's just say I'm going to start with pencils there. Oh, set right. Okay, pencil. Okay, when I draw, using this kind of whole pencil there, right? See the way I have my hands over here. See the line works. Naturally, you can see the motions there. Look like scribbling, okay? You're playing there, okay? But trust me there, guys. If you don't actually try to improve your line works like this, don't imagine you guys to draw like this anymore. Huh? To draw human structures there. Any manga kind of character styles that you want to draw from here there, right? Okay? You control your line really well. You won't be able to get it right. That's why people always have that kind of dilemma, okay? Because they're stressed out, they don't know how to change that. Do a lot of the exercise. They can make a lot of major changes and values of your experience to develop your skills. Okay, and after that you can combine them there, okay, with what you guys learn outside there, combine them all together there. I'm really put what we call that a stress out and focus more on a specific kind of way of moving your hand there first. Okay, those are the things those are the main objectives there first there, right? Okay, because no one actually taught you guys or teach you guys, hey, how to move your hands there when you want to draw, how to start there, right? Not what kind of shape that we're going to use first, but how to start with our hands there. How actually we train our hands there to move. Coordination between eyes, mind, and hands. Remember that. Put those notes in there, okay? Because when people ask you guys back again, hey, what do you guys learn in illustration studies, right? Illustration subject, okay? How to coordinate between our eyes, mind, and hands together. Develop your understanding there before you're going to illustrate anything in the future there. So, if you have any questions, please leave the comment basically in our group WhatsApp there, right? Okay. One, don't ask questions in Google Classrooms, right? Because the only things that quite easy for me to access, right? Okay, is basically in Google Class, in WhatsApp, right? Okay, group. Okay, so individual WhatsApp also I can accept it, right? So thank you very much, guys. And of course, there's a lot of things I want to share with you guys in lesson class here, but I'm going to hold over again in our, what we call that, in our practical class there, right? I'll see you guys soon, right? And group 5, okay, we take a break around until 12:30, is it okay? Okay, but I'm going to be here, all right, don't worry. And please join another rooms, okay, for group 5. I'm going to close this room over here. Okay, the room basically that I record right now is from here, from the second room of things that I've done just now there, right? So thank you very much, guys. Okay, I see you guys on practical class. Okay, practice a bit more further from there. Don't wait on my comment there, okay, because you know basically you make that kind of mistakes there, okay. At this stage, learn also to analyze bad and good drawings. Bad and good drawings there. All right, not about how perfect your drawing is. Bad techniques, good techniques there. We teaching you guys the good techniques there first. Okay, work on that, and take a look also on my YouTube channel at the same time. Right? Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day. Take care of yourself. Have a nice lunch. Okay, whatever that you want. Okay, before we get to see each other. Okay. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Welcome there, guys.
Thank you
Welcome.
so